what I've learned in my tenure and what I've been taught and what I teach is that you need to specialize. And when you're a new broker in the market, it's going to be really tantalizing to come in and say, oh, they're willing to work with me. They're willing to work with me. But that's like a dog in a room full of cats, trying to catch a tail. And you're just not going to be successful. You're going to be successful if you become a market expert in a specific niche and you put your blinders on and you just go to town because you can rinse and repeat all day long.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a commercial broker and investor in the Champaign market in Illinois, working across multiple asset classes. Please welcome Noah Ruggieri. Noah, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on here. I always like to start off at the top of the show by asking folks how they got into real estate.
Yeah, great question. And mine is the age-old story of nepotism, right? My dad's been in the business for 50 years and been licensed pretty much my entire life. And so I followed in his footsteps with much heel dragging and kick feeding, though. It took me a few careers to get here.
I want to ask you about growing up in the business because I have the exact opposite story. I had nobody in the business. And when I got into real estate in my late 20s, everybody said, "What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing." But growing up in the business, was there lots of conversation about real estate, about deals and so on and so forth?
I wish I could say yes, I really do. However, he did his thing, and I was just an oblivious kid. I really, I knew that I wanted to do real estate my entire adult life, but I didn't get there right away. I just knew that it was a great way to build wealth. People make their money at their jobs, but they get wealthy by investing in real estate.
Is your family from Chicago?
We had a lot of family in Chicago, but I was born and raised in Champaign.
I want to ask you. That's right, Champaign. I meant to say that the greater Illinois area. My bad. I want to ask you about that market in general, Illinois in general. I mentioned Chicago. You're in the Champaign area. There's a lot of interest from folks across the country in investing, but not just in their market, in other markets across states. Do you see that same type of interest from out-of-state investors looking at Champaign and other areas?
We do. In fact, Champaign is one of the only economic markets in the state of Illinois that has positive population growth and job growth year over year.
Now, you're involved and niche down in the commercial space. Was it always that way, or did you start off in residential? How'd you get into commercial?
Yeah, no, by that time, my dad was commercial broker still, of course, and jumped right into commercial. I knew that I didn't want to work nights and weekends, and I didn't want to be doing open houses or answering my phone at odd hours of the night because the color of the bathroom was wrong.
So you said, let's hop into commercial.
Yep,
Before
10
we
years
we
this month.
Before we hopped on here, I was asking you about the asset classes that you're involved in. Commercial really encompasses a wide range of deals. Is there a specific niche that you work a lot with within the commercial space?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
On the brokerage side, I like to work with SFR portfolios. I manage some property and I've been involved in ownership in different asset classes between mobile home parks, office buildings, and neighborhood retail centers.
I think some of those that you mentioned mobile home parks in particular, have a lot to do with these land plays that are their own niche in and of themselves. You got a lot of people who are looking at new construction. You've got a lot of people who are looking at mobile home RV parks and storage facilities. But these can be some very interesting deals because they operate a little bit differently. How'd you get involved in that mobile home park deal?
Honestly, I live in Illinois. So my partner called me. He's out in Colorado and he said, "Hey, you live in Illinois. You want to be a partner on this?" I said, "Sure. What do I have to do? Sweat equity? Sounds good."
Well, what was it? You managed that one, I'm assuming yourself.
Yeah, I do. I do that from afar. We hire someone locally to kind of oversee the park, and then we've partnered with the local bank actually, and all of our rent payments go directly to them. They have all our deposit slips at their teller windows, and I can even email them, and they'll pay, our basic park utility bills and property taxes and stuff.
I want to ask you about when you're looking at deals personally. You've been active across so many different asset classes. How do you find what the next good deal is? And then also, do you spend a lot of time looking at one specific type of deal, whether it's mobile home parks, whether it's multifamily, commercial residential? Is there any one thing that has your attention as an investor these days?
People involved. It's not so much about the asset class or the asset, but it's about the people involved and the partners that I can have and trust to work with me on the project, especially if it's not in my backyard.
I've got kind of the same mentality, which is when I hear folks investing in areas where they don't have boots on the ground, I want to know how in the world they do that because it almost scares me away from it. I want to have someone who I can call to go out there if I need some boots on the ground, some eyes on site. When you're looking at these deals and you mention partners, how important that is it a lot of people that you've done deals with coming to you, bringing you another deal? Is it a lot of folks who have heard of you, maybe acquaintance of an acquaintance, and they're bringing you a deal, and then you're evaluating both them and the deal for the first time?
Yeah, so I took this pretty seriously when I got into it, and I started going to what's called equity marketing meetings for licensed brokers all over the country, and I've been doing that almost 8 to 12 meetings a year all over the country, and I've built up a vast network of investors and brokers, and then I'm also part of the SVN franchise on the commercial brokers, and that has over 2,500 brokers worldwide. And so it's all about the network. And if you can get the right network of people together, I can look at projects in any market and go to my expert there locally and say, "Hey, what do I need to know about this that I don't already know?"
Do you have as someone who's in the Champagne market, do you have a preference as an investor in looking at deals in that area? Or do you see that when you're evaluating deals, they're coming from across the board, doesn't just have to be located in Champagne or in Illinois in general?
Great question. As far as brokerage goes, 64% of all commercial transactions happen across state lines. So if my clients are buying across state lines, why wouldn't I be looking across state lines?
Right.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Right. I think it's one of these things where there's leverage in commercial deals. So sometimes people can think they need to have more uh, knowledge about the deals. There's a greater level of risk. But at the same point in time, you mentioned a lot of this is larger capital, larger leverage, partners from outside of the area. So you do have to get a bit creative. When I want to pivot a bit here, Noah, when comparing some of these deals, like for instance a mobile home park deal to multifamily, uh, do you have I don't want to say a preference, but do you have a more bullish outlook on one asset class versus another?
So I say there's more buyers out there for multifamily in general because more oftentimes than not, people understand that. And there's more money to be made in mobile home parks because there's usually more upside and sellers that are more capable and willing of doing creative deal structures.
It's a huge thing. I think right now, especially, there's a lot of buzz surrounding the mobile home park space because there seems to be an influx of private equity, capital, and folks from really all across the board taking a look at some what you could consider distressed assets and saying, well, how can we uh, uh, really expand upon this? I want to pivot a bit here, Noah, and ask you about brokerage on the commercial side and your feedback as someone who's been doing it for a while. If we have agents listening who may be looking at getting into a commercial from residential, or maybe looking at starting a career in commercial, do you have any bits of gold or feedback for those listeners?
Yeah, go all in. I heard recently a guy tell me who worked as a coach and mentor and trainer, and he said, when you get started in this business, all you have to do is work half days. And I laughed because I was thinking, 8-hour days, that's not so bad. 4 hours. He's like, how many hours are in a day? And then
Right.
I keyed in that 12 hours a day. And you know what? If you really want to advance, then that's kind of what you got to do. So have some money put aside. If you are working another job, make it nights and weekends because prime business hours are prime dollar hours. And you want to make sure you give yourself plenty of runway, like 18 months to 2 years to get a solid pipeline going.
And you mentioned that runway. There's a lot that goes into that, right? I mean, you can't remotely compare the deal flow of the residential space to commercial, and that can take some getting used to for folks who may be making that transition. You had family in the business, so maybe even though you there might not have been a whole lot of conversation, subconsciously you knew that what the expectations to set for folks who may be looking at making that transition. Do you think that they need to be? You mentioned all the networking that you did and getting tapped into to mentorship and the like. Do you think that folks need to have that experience in order to make that transition? They need to be tapping into those types of networking opportunities and communities?
Absolutely. I don't think you have to have all green lights before you hit go on your car, but yeah, you've certainly got to make a plan and execute it over the course of, months and years. It just makes sense that if that's what your focus is going to be. You could even transition out of residential a little bit and take your clients and say, hey, we sold you this house. We know you're a local business owner. Do you know anyone who's looking for, retail space? And if you really are confused about what's going on, find a local commercial broker and partner with them and, split your fee as much or as little as they're willing to do so you can get experience because at that point what you're going to be learning and the education you're getting is going to be more value than the dollars you might get.
I want to pivot a bit here and ask you about the regionality of commercial brokerage, because you're not going to have the volume, but you need to have, I would say, exponentially more expertise, and there's a degree of jargon of language that comes into having these higher level conversations that can be frankly intimidating for some people. Um,
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
but also you do need to have that regional expertise when folks are looking at getting educated and making that transition potentially, and then also for existing agents in the commercial space. Do you feel like there's one key to growth, to securing more deal flow, or is it a lot of moving things that come together to really make a great commercial agent?
Great question. And I'm the managing broker, broker of record, however you want to call it here. And I've got 6 people that hang their license with me right now. And we just went to the C5 Summit for NAR in Chicago last week. And what I've learned in my tenure and what I've been taught and what I teach is that you need to specialize.
Yeah.
And when you're a new broker in the market, it's going to be really tantalizing to come in and say, oh, they're willing to work with me. They're willing to work with me. But that's like a dog in a room full of cats, trying to catch a tail. And you're just not going to be successful. You're going to be successful if you become a market expert in a specific niche and you put your blinders on and you just go to town because you can rinse and repeat all day long.
The idea of niches is something that I think a lot of people are aware of, but don't necessarily understand the power of it. In
Can I give an
commercial,
example?
yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
an example is how many types of doctors are out there? How many
I don't
doctors?
know,
Yeah. I mean, you
tons.
go to your general practitioner and he tells you, oh, you've got an issue with your collarbone. And he sends you to a referral for an expert, because there's a doctor who works with just the bones, and
Right.
there's even down to skin cancer of the nose. I mean, and how much do those specialists make when you go? A general practitioner makes the least amount of money out of all of the different types of doctors. The more you specialize, the more you narrow your field of focus, the more money you're going to make and the less time you're going to spend doing it.
That's a great point. That example specifically, I think, rings home to a lot of people who maybe had to get an MRI recently or something like this. But we are coming up on time here, though, Noah. I do want to ask you before we go here. You've got a diverse range of experience. You have experience working with investors across states. You've got experience as an investor yourself personally. If you had to take a look at all of this, is there one central theme that you feel like makes an effective real estate operator?
Yeah. Quality relationships and good integrity and moral standards. So if people can
Amen to
trust
that.
you and people like you, they're going to do business with you.
Noah, if folks are interested in maybe looking at a commercial deal in the Champaign market, or if they'd like to get in touch with you from anywhere
Any
across the
market.
country, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah. So my cell number, if I can give that here, is
Go ahead.
217 area code 367-1700. And my email is Noah Ruggieri at svn.com. And I work
Noah,
in all
thank you
50.
so much for coming on the show here today.
Thank you, Dylan, for having me.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.